Well, they are trying to change the meaning of inflation. You know, the people who say everything has a fixed meaning, woman has a simple, singular definition, things just are what they are, facts don't care about your feelings, let's live in reality, that sort of thing. They are now completely rewriting the definition of inflation now that they are worried that Donald Trump's economic program is going to be an inflation bomb in the United States. Now, I'm going to play an example here for you, and then we will discuss it. Here is Joseph Livornia saying tariffs are not inflationary by definition. Take a listen.
Tariffs are not inflationary. I don't understand why everybody thinks that's the case. If the money stock is unchanged, then tariffs by definition cannot be inflationary. Inflation is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon, and I caveat it by we add the word credit. Tariffs.
So what is he talking about? What is Joseph talking about? Joseph Livornia is arguing that tariffs can't be inflationary because they don't change the money supply. So his reasoning is based on this extraordinarily narrow definition of inflation, which ties inflation strictly to an increase in the money supply. This has a name. This is called the monetarist view. And this is a framework where inflation only happens when there's more money circulating without a corresponding increase in goods or services. Imagine that you have an economy with $1 trillion of goods and services, and you, quote, print more money, which we don't print anymore. It's really like computers doing stuff that only Baron Trump understands. You increase the money supply, but you still have only $1 trillion in goods and services. Therefore, in absolute numbers, those things become more expensive because there's more money circulating in the economy. That's the monetarist view of inflation. Since tariffs don't print more money, it's just an import tax. Livornia says you can't get inflation from tariffs. This is completely wrong. It's outdated. And have you ever heard MAGA bring this up until all of a sudden they need some way to say the tariffs aren't going to be inflationary? Of course not. This is born out of the necessity now of saying, and by the way, inflation ticked down the tiniest bit in February. They expect it will become an issue. An increase in the money supply can contribute to inflation, but by a long shot, it's not the only cause. Inflation happens whenever prices rise broadly across the economy. And there's a lot of different ways that that can happen. Tariffs do cause inflation by raising the cost of goods, especially imported ones. Here's how. It's not particularly complex. If an American company imports steel and there's a 25% tariff on steel, they now have to pay more for steel. They still are paying the company they import the steel from for the steel, and then they pay the American government the tariff, the import tax. Now that their costs have gone up, they will say, well, the steel costs us more, so we are going to increase the cost of what we're making out of the steel. Maybe it's a car, maybe it's a building. Okay. That raises the price level for consumers. It is a form of inflation. Now, even if a company buys American-made goods, they will often raise their prices to match the new higher price of imports. Why? Because they can. Even the companies that are not directly affected by that import tax tariff, they will still say, hey, well, our competitors who do import are now charging more. We will also charge more. Why not? And domestic producers no longer have to compete with a cheaper price. They go, listen, those who are importing are going to charge more. We are now free to charge more as well. Remember that no matter how many times Trump tells you that it is the Chinese paying the tariffs or whatever the case may be, that the reality is that it is the American buyers, businesses and consumers that pay the tariffs. It is textbook inflation. Now, to the people who say we are too loosey-goosey with our definitions, they are very happy to just change the definition of inflation. Let's go to another example of this. Here is Howard Lutnick trying to make a sort of similar argument.
Well, as the president said last night, there's going to be a short period of time where there'll be some higher prices on certain products. It's not inflation, that's nonsense. It's certain products for a short period of time. But then
what he's alluding to there is that it's only inflation if the price of every good and every service is going up. That's not the definition of inflation. You could imagine a situation where just the market price of watches goes up. We would say that's not inflation. That's a very specific market, and there are reasons why watch prices may be going up, and part of it may be, oh, people are hanging out at home during the pandemic and they're buying watches. Okay, we wouldn't say that that's inflation. But on the other hand, it's not that the price of everything has to go up. You might have a different situation. You might have a situation where grocery prices are up, and home prices are up, and the cost of electronics is up, but watch prices aren't up. Why? Actually, because of the inflation everywhere else, people are like, I don't have any more money for watches. So watch prices don't go up, but a bunch of other stuff does. That would be inflation. So this whole like it all has to go up, or it's not inflation, doesn't make any sense. Here's another Lutnick euphemism where he says, this is not inflation. These are short-term price movements. Again, do words still have meaning? I guess not.
We're going to bring back production of enormous amounts of things and make America a manufacturing center again. So yes, there's going to be, as the president said on the campaign trail, there may well be short-term price movements, but in the long term, it's going to be completely different. This is going to be the greatest America. We'll have a balanced budget.
We will not have a balanced budget.
Interest rates will come smashing down, and I mean 100 basis points, 150 basis points lower. You're going to have income taxes, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime.
Which Trump has still not actually proposed in anything on paper.
This president is going to deliver all of those things and drive manufacturing here.
All right, you get it. So again, same kind of idea. It's not inflation. These are price movements. And then finally, one more from Lutnick. This is him trying out, again, the monetarist view. This is the same thing that Livornia tried at the top of this clip.
I mean, how much pain are we going to be willing to take in inflation if all of a sudden they hit us right back?
Remember, so you made one comment. So inflation comes from a government printing more money. Some prices can rise. This bottle of water.
It can't happen at all from tariffs?
Tariffs do not create inflation. Printing money creates inflation. You have a balanced budget. There can't be inflation.
All right. We already debunked this. We talked about it at the beginning of this segment. That is the monetarist view about what inflation means. They say if the money supply hasn't changed, by definition, it can't be inflation. We know this now to be untrue because 6 minutes ago we talked about it. They are rewriting the definitions of words. When the left says, when you ask me what is a woman, there is a biological definition, right? In a urology office, we are talking about biology. If a trans man comes in and says, my prostate's all backed up, the urologist is going to go, we're in a doctor's office based on the biological definition here. You don't have a prostate, so that can't be the reason you're having an issue. In the context of gender discrimination, we now have a different thing. A prostate is not required to make a case that there is gender discrimination happening in society. What about legally and issues of Title IX or whatever? So when we go, yeah, listen, I know what you're trying to do by saying what is a woman, but it really does depend on the context in which you're asking that. Are we asking that for legal or social or medical purposes? They go, you people are crazy, this postmodernism, anything goes, whatever. But then on inflation, they go, well, you can't have inflation unless we've changed the money supply. So this whole thing over here of prices going up, that's not inflation. You can't call it inflation unless the price of everything goes up. And we found a few things where the prices didn't go up. So that's also not inflation. They are doing the exact same thing with the meaning of language that they criticize the left for doing, and it's pathetic. I have a book coming out. I've spent a long time working on this. I couldn't be more excited to share it with you. It is called The Echo Machine, and it answers a crucial question. How did American politics get so broken? And just as importantly, how do we fight back effectively before it's too late? Trump back in the White House, damage piling up, an administration filled with extremists and loyalists, attacks on democratic institutions, policies hurting working people. If you've felt like you're screaming into the void and watching democracy slip away, my book, The Echo Machine, will help you make sense of what's happening and also give you an idea of what we can do about it. Go to davidpakman.com/echo or find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, I'd like David Pakman's The Echo Machine from Beacon Press. Pre-orders make a huge difference. Please support the book at davidpakman.com/echo.